You might be looking at me saying, he looks familiar. I was here 2.5 years ago. You didn't see my picture in the post office, but you might have seen me 2.5 years ago. Maybe my picture's in the post office, who knows? You ever go someplace, usually a city, that's where you really see this, where somebody is loud, but you look at them and you hear them and you say, they're crazy. And they probably are. These are the type of people, you walk down a city street and they just might be yelling. And it's great to watch people because we all make believe we don't notice it, but everybody's a nervous wreck. I live right across from the river from Manhattan, and every now and then they go in the city and you find people, all kinds of strange things, and they're yelling, hey, hey! So I do the smart thing, I talk to myself, because the trick is to make them think I'm crazier than they are, and they won't bother me. What are they trying to do? They're trying to get attention, or somebody's attention. Somebody's attention. And they might be crazy, we don't know that. But they're doing something that's very much out of the ordinary. And that's why they're getting attention. That's the story of Bartimaeus. Bartimaeus is a beggar, a blind beggar. He might not have been that all his life. We don't know much about him, but we do have his name in the scriptures, and for 2,000 years, we've been talking about Bartimaeus, son of Timaeus, a blind beggar. And what's he doing? Making a lot of noise, getting attention. Jesus, son of David, have pity on me. And what's the response from the crowd, which is the same response we would usually give? Shut up. You're making a scene. Well, he probably didn't have any relatives because he would have been alone on the street, begging. Quiet down. And the more they told him to quiet down, the louder he got. Jesus, son of David, have pity on me. And instead of Jesus saying, all right, get that crazy guy out of here, he's creating a scene, Jesus says, call him, bring him forward. And the same people that were saying to him, shut up, now say, get up, take courage. Jesus is calling you. Your craziness has gotten his attention. Your screaming out on the side of the street has gotten his attention. And what do they say? Take courage. Take courage. Jesus is calling you. He throws off his cloak and springs up, which means he's excited. Doesn't necessarily know where he's going because he can't see. He comes to Jesus. And instead of Jesus saying, you're making a scene, you're embarrassing your family. Instead of Jesus saying, how come you're making so much of a commotion here? Jesus asks him a question. What do you want me to do for you? That's a huge question. So, a couple of things here. First of all, the guy got Jesus' attention. He woke Jesus up in a certain way that Jesus is he's interested in him. Call him forward. What do you want me to do for you? What is it that you want? And basically, Jesus is saying, what do you want me to do for you? What is the one thing you want? Is that a question that Jesus is asking you, us? If Jesus were to say to you, what do you want me to do for you? You got one shot at it. Oh, well, we want health. I want health in my family. I want this. I want that. It's tons of things we can say. But you got one shot at it. If Jesus said to me tonight, Vinny, what do you want me to do for you? My answer is clear. I know exactly what I want. I want the Yankees to win. More than anything else. Jesus, I'm losing faith in these guys. Do something. What's the one thing we want? What is it that we want to tell Jesus? Are we like Bartimaeus? Would we have the courage to be like Bartimaeus, to say, I want to see. I want to see. Want to see what? I want to see what are the things in my heart that preventing me from seeing you. What are the things that I'm blind to that I might not see or know what you are calling me to, or what I can do to grow deeper into a relationship with you? It's pretty much what Bartimaeus said. I want to see. And it wasn't just physical sight. Because Jesus doesn't do what he does at other times. He doesn't put his hands on the man's head. He doesn't put his hands on the eyes. He doesn't put spittle on the man's eyes so he'll see. He simply says, go your way, your faith has saved you. Go your way, your faith has saved you. What's Jesus seeing in Bartimaeus? He's seeing the movement of his soul. Bartimaeus is not saying, I want to be able to see so I can see the beautiful colors of the day. I want to be able to see. What Bartimaeus is saying, I need to see the things that hold me back. Jesus says, go your way. Your faith has saved you. Your faith has saved you. Bartimaeus immediately received his sight, and it says, and he followed him on the way. Now, they're in Jericho. They're on the way to Jerusalem, and Jesus has a big crowd. They're in Jericho. Jericho was a nice town at the time. Jericho had a lot of things going on, and Jesus is on a journey to Jerusalem, which probably in the next week and a half or 2 weeks of that time, he will be crucified. He's going to Jerusalem to die. And Bartimaeus immediately received his sight and followed him on the way. Bartimaeus is following Jesus to the crucifixion. He's able to see what his heart and his soul have been blind to. What is it that we're blind to? Being blind means I can't see things going on inside of me. I'm blind to it. I'm blind to it. Here's a real test. Sit down with your close friend and ask that close friend. I'm not asking you to do this, tell you the truth, because it's not a comfortable thing. Tell me how I come across to people. Tell me what people think about me. I don't recommend that, because if the person is a true friend, you're not going to get a positive answer. Well, you're nice and everybody likes you, but, and then now he's going to tell you the truth. There's things about you that are irritating to people. Really? Like what? Let me tell you. And now the list goes on. And you might say to yourself, gee, I never saw that in myself. I'm blind to it. I'm blind to it. So what are we asking Jesus in this story, and what are we taking away from it? Jesus, do I really want to see? Do I want to see those things that are hidden inside of me that I forgot about, things that I hide from myself. I don't want necessarily to look at them. And yet, Jesus wants those things. He wants those things. He wants to enter into. He wants to enter into each one of us. What do we cry out to Jesus to get his attention? When things aren't going well, we cry out pretty loudly. We cry out, Lord, I need help here. I need help. What do we do to get Jesus' attention? The simplest and best way to get his attention is to tell him about your weaknesses, to tell him about your blindness. Big deal, because he knows that once he can let us break through that, we will discover the real truth of who we are. This coming week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're running a parish mission basically about some of this stuff. To how do we grow, stop looking at myself and start to look at my relationship with God, and even further, how then do I see my relationship with others? Because that becomes the true reflection of my relationship with God. How do we become the hands and feet of Jesus Christ to others so that they may discover the real truth of Jesus through me?